How's everybody doing? So I wanted to just touch on this topic real quick before I run into an appointment that I have. And it's something that I've been thinking about on and off for several months, and I finally put it together in my head well enough where I can explain it to people. And I want to talk about this topic of intuition. Now, this isn't real estate related. It has served me as a tool in my real estate career, but it's not something that I can really teach. I can explain it, but I can't necessarily teach it. And it kind of works like this. It might help if you had like a paper and pencil when I go through this. I would like to do it on a whiteboard, but I don't have the time or energy. So anyway, it works like this. Have you ever sat down with yourself and said, man, I should have went with my gut for some decision that you made, and maybe you didn't go with your gut and things didn't turn out right? Well, what is the gut? Like, what is that whole thing about? It kind of works like this. I'm going to explain this. It's going to get kind of complex, but just stay with me. I use a lot of analogies, and this is one of those times where I'm going to use it, so I apologize in advance if you don't like them. So when we have like an iceberg, you've got the top of the iceberg, and then we all know this, right? Like 3/4 of the iceberg is beneath the surface. We just see the little bit that's floating on the top. I want you to think of your mind or your brain as the same way. We've got this little bit that's above the surface, that's our conscious mind. And then the majority of our mind, our subconscious, is beneath the surface, where we really don't have access to it. Now, why is this important? Well, I'm going to get to that. So with our conscious mind thinks with words. And as you're listening to this conversation right now, you're using words in your mind to think this is boring, this sucks, or what's he talking about? And then we also have our subconscious mind, which communicates to us through feelings. That part of our brain doesn't have access to words. So why is that important? All right, well, let's picture yourself going into a party somewhere, and you walk in and you smell something, something on the grill, and you hear the noise from the people chattering in the room, and you feel the temperature, it feels a little warm in there, and you sit on a seat and you feel the pressure on your butt, and you engage all of your senses, and all of those senses send information to our conscious mind. But our subconscious mind picks up a lot of other stuff that's going on around us that our conscious mind isn't aware of. And I'm sure you've had this happen. You're sitting in a restaurant somewhere or in a meeting or something, and you feel like somebody's looking at you, and you turn around and look and somebody's staring at you. How do you explain that? You didn't see him, you didn't hear him, you didn't feel him. I hope you didn't taste him. So how do you explain that? That's our subconscious mind that has these other senses that are available to it, where it's taking in tremendous amounts of information and processing it. And when something happens that doesn't feel right, you walk into a room and everything looks good, but you get a feeling like something's off, something's not right. And then you find out that maybe the host and her husband just had an argument, or there was just some other argument with another pair of people in the room, and you couldn't really smell it or taste it or see it or hear it, but you got a feeling. That's your gut talking to you. I use that all the time in real estate and in other things in my life, where I can sit down with a piece of, and looking at a spreadsheet, looking at a house, looking at the numbers, and things on paper look good. My conscious mind says, well, this looks good, but my gut says, nah, something's not right. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know something's not right. I use this stuff all the time. I very rarely say that I should have went with my gut. I'm very in tune with it. A friend of mine recently called it intuition and said that I'm very intuitive. I wish I could teach it to you. The best thing I can do is explain it to you and tell you to pay more attention to your gut. The truth is, your conscious mind is maybe 10% of your brain, and your subconscious is 90% of your mind. Well, that 90% of your mind might not be right 100% of the time, but if you got to bet, I'd bet on the 90% before I'd bet on the 10%. I think you get a better chance of winning. So anyway, that's it. Just wanted to share this quick thought with you. It's something that I've been wanting to share with people for several months now. I just wanted to find the time and the place and get my thoughts together in a way where I could explain it hopefully clearly. So anyway, hope everybody has a nice night. I'll talk to you soon.